Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I have my October and November reading wrap up. So both October and November were really good reading months for me. I'm really happy that I'm reading more consistently again. It makes me feel a lot better and I love it obviously, so I'm happy about it. With October, this is like all the reading stats from Storygraph of like how many pages, how many books I read, my favorite book, whatever. So we're gonna talk about October 1st. The first book that I read in October was Lost Gods by Brahm. In September I read The Child Thief and I really liked it, but Lost Gods was amazing. Like probably my favorite Brahm other than Krampus so far. It's definitely up there. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's very fantasy-esque, but it's about like a purgatory, a state of purgatory. Basically go on like a big journey into the depths of the underworld and follow our characters and see how they deal with all these situations, and there's demons and things like that. It's really complicated, to be honest, like the whole lore behind this book, but I ended up really enjoying it. It was a pleasant surprise for me. I gave it around 4 stars. Next up here I have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I read Home Before Dark and I loved that. Our main character Casey stalks the married couple that live across the lake, and she's looking through their window, like she's in full spy mode, wondering what's going on there. So it's kind of about that mystery unfolding. I thought the twists were okay. Again, it wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy like the overall reading experience. If you're at a cottage or something, bring this. It'll be perfect vibe for you. But I gave this around like a 3.5. Next up here I read We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This is an author that I don't think I've read from him before, or I've read like one thing. This was basically about a metal band and we went back and forth like 20 years in the future and then went back about how they started and where they are now kind of thing. There's a lot of fun metal references in here like Black Sabbath, Metallica, things like that. Overall though, I wasn't too crazy about this one. I'll probably pick up more Grady Hendrix in the future, but I'm a huge metal fan and everything, but I did end up giving this one a 3. I just thought it was just okay. Next up here, we got the Bachman books by Stephen King. I read all of them. First I was just gonna read The Running Man for the movie, and then I was like, well, since I'm here. The Running Man is basically the Hunger Games before the Hunger Games. So we follow Ben Richards, who decides to compete in this competition to win money. His daughter's sick, he decides to compete. It's a reality type show and everybody ends up dying, and then there's one winner who gets all the money at the end. I thought this one was okay. Wasn't my favorite. I read it so that I could go see the movie, and then I didn't go see the movie. I gave The Running Man 3 stars. And I made these little like graphics. I'll put the one I did for The Running Man up, just like to quickly explain kind of like each one. I don't know. I quickly made these like graphics just to explain each one with like little arrows pointing to like, the era or what some of the story was about. And next up I read Rage. So this one I've been wanting to read for a really long time. It's out of print. The only reason I have it in this book is because I got it at a used bookstore years ago. But you can't really find it now unless you go to like a secondhand store. Basically we follow our main character Charlie, who ends up being a school shooter. So we get kind of some of his backstory about him being abused and what went on at the school before, and then the shooting that took place and the aftermath and things like that. I thought it was really interesting to read, very hard to rate. I can see not why it's out of print, but like there was a situation that happened and like not long after this book came out, and the shooter had this rage in their locker, which is why it's out of print, because it inspired somebody to do the same thing in real life. Around a 3.5. I thought it was better than The Running Man in my opinion. Then I read Roadwork, which this one was not that good. I didn't like this one very much. There's some construction on the way to our main character's work, so that's what inspires him to stay home and freak out, I guess. But yeah, this is a small town psychological thriller. I thought the ending was good, but the rest of the story I didn't really enjoy. I thought it was kind of a drag. Wasn't my favorite. It was my least favorite in here for sure. I think out of the 4 books in here, The Long Walk is my favorite, then Rage, then The Running Man, and then Roadwork. Here I read Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This one I actually listened to on an audiobook, but it's a adult horror book. It's whole haunted house premise, but our main character is like an influencer online, so that's an interesting perspective. I don't usually like reading about that, but like whatever. The character's mom wrote a whole book about the house and how it was haunted, and then our main character inherits the house and kind of sees for herself if there's anything to this place. This was my first book by this author, and I probably would continue. I may continue reading more from them, but I thought this one was just okay. It was a fun audiobook, spooky time. I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars. One that I really liked, it's called Too Old for This. Basically, grandma murders. Grandma kills people. Our main character is Lottie Jones. She's a retired serial killer who ends up getting herself into some situations. But she just wants to go out with her friends and play bingo. Like, I love following her perspective. Retired serial killer who never got caught. It was super unique, and the main character was super funny. I really enjoyed the whole reading experience of this. I gave this one 4 stars. I read The Honeycrisp Orchard Inn. This is by Valerie Bowman. We follow our main character Ellie, who gets dumped by her boyfriend. And not only does he dump her, he steals all of her ideas from her job. So she's like, damn. As a result of that, she gets fired from her job because of her ex-boyfriend. She goes back to this little town to hang out with her parents and help them with the inn, and she meets somebody there, and she's an event planner, which I loved getting that perspective. I thought it was great. I love both our characters. Like, I cared about them. I was rooting for them. I wanted them to have their happily ever after and figure their stuff out. Also, there's a pug named Pumpkin in this book. He's a cute little guy. The trope with this one was like forced proximity, which I liked. I thought it was good. But overall, I liked it. I gave it a 3.75. If you're like, this was perfect for a fall read that I was looking for. For October, we have Beg For It by Madison Fox. Our main character, Blair, is obsessed with a hot streamer guy. This book had like a mass kink, knife play, stuff like that. It was like, it's an erotic novella, so keep that in mind if you're thinking about picking it up. I ended up liking the novella. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to November. Up here, I read the second book in the Lori Gilmer series that she's writing. This is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Cozy small town romance that starts off as casual, and then you'll see. I only cared about these characters to a certain extent, but I do like this universe, I guess. I love how like along this, like I picture the strip in the small town, like the downtown strip from the small town, like I picture it with all of the little shops that they have, and each book is based off of kind of each one, and you get to see the characters from the previous books and stuff like that. So I do like how it's all intertwined. It's very like light though. This book though did have way more sex than the first book, so keep that in mind if you're looking for spice or if you're not looking for it. Overall, I thought it was okay. I give it 3 stars. I love this one. I really love this one. It's by Brom, Krampus. I had such a good reading experience with this. This is about our main character, Jessie, who goes through a hell of a time, and honestly, this was my favorite Brom so far. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It was very fantasy, Christmas horror. I'm really impressed with it. I thought it is kind of on the same level to me as like Nosferatu by Joe Hill, which I also really, really loved. If you're looking for Christmas horror, Krampus or Nosferatu would be your way to go. Next up here, I have The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hant. This book I read like 7 years ago, which I can't believe. Like if you guys have been here long enough and heard me talk about this the first time, that's crazy. Thank you. Basically, this has to do with Christmas past, present, and future, and someone who gets visited by them. This book kind of has a whole system that they have set up for Christmas past, present, and future, and like locating the Scrooges and trying to like show them everything and make them appreciate the holidays and themselves and all of that. Honestly, it wasn't as good as I remember it being. Maybe it's just because I don't read as much YA anymore. I don't know. I still gave it a 4 because I did really enjoy it. Like, I did enjoy it, but it didn't have the same charm that it did like 7 years ago. But that's my fault. So yeah, if you're interested in picking up like a YA Christmas book, this one was really interesting, and it's, yeah, I like the romance and everything. It was good. I have The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. First off, this movie is like my favorite movie, like one of my favorite movies. It's so good. 5 stars every time. If you have thought about watching the movie, please watch the movie. It's so good. So I decided to read the book. It's a middle grade book. I like that there's some like illustrations and stuff throughout it. I didn't like it as much as the movie, and there were a few little differences and things like that, but I still liked it. I don't think I'm going to continue with the series though, because there is more. I also thought it was weird that the author would like, it's because it's middle grade, I guess, but the author would talk directly to the reader like mid-story. It just took me out of it every single time. I was like, why is the author talking to me? Like straight up talking to me, like goes away from their story, addresses the reader. Like, I guess it's middle grade But yeah, I gave it a 3 to 3.5. Next up here, I read a horror novella. This one's called Mickey and Mo. This one has a lot of trigger warnings. It's an extreme horror, so I'm gonna, yeah, just warn you guys if you pick it up or look it up or anything like that. I thought it was a very raw and gritty look at drug addiction. That's mostly what this book is about. It was also about drug trafficking. Basically our couple here like to cook meth and sell it and stuff like that. They're also users. The toll that had on them and their bodies, and they started hallucinating, thinking there was bugs going across their skin, basically slowly dying. But yeah, if it definitely didn't romanticize drug addiction, so I appreciated that about this book. I only give this 2 stars, but this was written by Robert Essig, who I read another book from not too long ago, like a few months ago, and I liked that one a little bit. I liked that one more than this one, but I still thought this was an interesting perspective. I have Let It Snow. John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Mayercroll. This is another one that I read, I don't know, I've read this at least 7 times. It's become just a book that I read most Christmases, but it specifically started like probably 10 years ago or 8 years ago, something like that. This is a book I used to talk about all the time on here. Same thing with The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I did not enjoy this one as much as I had in the past, but basically it's 3 stories that start to intertwine. It's basically a huge snowstorm. It stops a lot of people from leaving town, or they get stranded at a pancake house or whatever it is, the diner. And you kind of see how all 3 of them intertwine, but there's some nice romances in it and things like that. I did like it. It just didn't have the same charm, I guess. But I'm glad I reread it. I don't know. I gave it a 3 this time. I think in the past I've given it a 4 or a 5, so yeah. I still liked it. There you guys have it. Those were all the books that I read in October and November. Please let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video, comment a black heart in the comments. Yeah, I'd love to go through and read your guys' comments and chat and stuff. If you'd like to follow me on any other social media, I have it all linked down below. Goodreads, Storygraph, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you want is down there. I hope you guys have had a good reading month. I'm excited. We're like we're about halfway through December right now, so I'm having a good time reading this month. So I'll update you guys and hopefully do some end of the year videos too, with like my favorites of the year, my least favorites, things like that. So yeah, tell me if you guys want to see that. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.